Can you talk about the difficulty of going through the practice week when you don't have your starting quarterback out there for the first couple days?
I mean, it is what it is. Josh can use the work. That's what you do. You get prepared for it. And like any other position, you go to work, and guys have to still function around him. What the calls are up front, and our skilled guys, and we got to have high level of execution, no matter who's at what position.
Todd, obviously, you guys were able to bring in Deontay Johnson. You've done a lot of things well across the board offensively. What do you think he can an element he can add to your offense that you'd like to see get better, even with what you've already accomplished?
Well, I think, first of all, just seeing him the first couple of days, I like what I see. I think he adds tremendous depth to us at receiver. I think he gives us another guy that can separate. I think that's really what I think our tight ends can separate. I think our receivers can separate. I think we've got other guys that, can win. And I just think it allows us to, again, you're just always trying to add talent. And I think we've added a talented player.
Todd was today, he had 115 yards last game. He's kind of had a couple of really big games this season. Where have you seen his growth from last year into this year?
Well, I think a couple weeks ago I kind of mentioned, I just think there's a lot of things that go into that. I think a first year for a rookie, everything's different. Where you live's different, food's different, coaching's different, system's different. The stage you're on is different for a lot of players. Some not as much, but for others it is. Having to deal with everything that comes with being a professional player, social media. How do you handle that part of it? How do you handle the length of a season? I mean, holy cow, how long our season is. I think it's just the comfort of already going through it, like always. When you go through something, I think it's easier second time around.
Todd, from your vantage point, what was kind of the reason in the game Sunday why the offense may not have looked the way that they have coming into that game?
Well, they're good. I mean, let's start with that. I mean, they're good on defense. I mean, that's a fact. And you have to give them some credit, okay, that part of it. With that being said, 8 times we got inside the 50. We got in their territory and we scored 4. That's really in a nutshell. I mean, between lost yardage plays, missed fourth down opportunity, some penalties, that's what you're going to end up with. We didn't play as clean as we've been playing. And that showed. And that got us to where, okay, 24 wasn't good enough. It just wasn't. And we're certainly capable of better. And our guys know it. We got behind the sticks a little more than we bailed ourselves out the week before. We had a number of get back on tracks we got out with the penalties. We didn't do that as well this week. And that stung us. We had some other opportunities that we just didn't, take advantage of. We're close, and we made a number of really good plays. But and there's some calls you wish you had back. I'm part of that too. So it's all of us, right? That's part of it.
Todd, obviously Derrick Henry's had a ton of success on the direct snap kind of stuff over his career. How hard is it for you to make the decision to take the ball out of Lamar's hands, given how good he is?
Oh, when it doesn't work, for sure. I mean, that's, like any play, when it doesn't work, it's disappointing. It just happens when it's fourth down. Whether you're in your own end and you decide to go for it, or you're in midfield and you decide to go for it, or when you have a chance to get points and you don't get it, you look at a number of things. How do we scheme it? The thought that went into it, how we blocked it, like any given play. It's just those plays are the ones that, that really sting. Because we know, it's a third down, all right, fine, we get another shot at it. Hey, we kick the field goal. When it's fourth down, that's it. We got to be on point with how we design it, and to give ourselves the best chance. Because we had a chance right there to, but even before that play, I mean, we get back-to-back penalties. I mean, that's what did it. We would have been on the 2.5-yard line. So the penalties backed us up. Then we get to that, and then I make that call, and it stops all the momentum. Score on the first drive. That's happened 2 of the last 3 weeks. We've moved it down there and we've turned it over, either on downs or a turnover, like we did against Commanders. It's unacceptable.
Coach, with the team trading for Deontay Johnson and Keaton Mitchell now trending towards a return, how much of a bonus is that to an offense that's already been performing at a really high level?
Well, I mean, again, having really talented players is and having a really talented staff and a game plan that they understand allows you to really function at a high level. But it starts with having really talented players, so it's exciting to get those guys back. And it also provides depth if you lose somebody. I mean, that's really, it's the nature of what we do. You're going to lose players. So having quality depth, guys that can come in and function at a really high level. But when your expectations are really high, if your expectations aren't really high, then that's different.
Are you expecting
We're the
Keaton back this
Baltimore
week?
Ravens, so
Are you
we're
expecting
expected to win. So whoever that is, we got to have enough depth to do that. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
Are you expecting Keaton back this week?
That's not up to me.
With the addition of Deontay, do you feel like it allows you guys to do anything differently, or in terms of looks, formations, or even some of the things you guys do within offense?
We'll see as he gets acclimated. First week's always tough, getting him involved. And, but I'm excited what I've seen the first 2 days, and we'll see where it goes. Some of that's game planning, how we want to attack somebody, how many receivers we want in the game, where we go from here. Same with the tight ends, in terms of where the backs we have on the field.
Talk about just the kind of pressure that Denver can put on an offense with their blitz packages and also just the talented cornerbacks and safeties that they have.
Yeah, they're playing at a really high level, very confident. Their guys are really active. I mean, they play hard. And that's one thing you see on film. They've done a great job of building the core personalities of the players they've got playing on the field. I think that's impressive, how hard they play and schematically how they challenge you with their pressure package. So we're up for it. Our guys are excited. We've seen that for the last 4 weeks. We've seen teams that have decided to pressure us. That's, to me, where the league is going. Otherwise, we wouldn't be seeing it as much. We've got to be on point with all of our IDs and where we go with the ball.
Todd, when you look at the kind of the philosophy behind those short yardage calls, is part of it that Lamar just can't draw quite as much attention in those situations as he normally does? I mean, is that why maybe it's not as much of a factor to have the ball in his hands or not in his hands?
I don't know. We love it to be in his hands, and we love for it to be in Derek's hands.
Right.
And unfortunately, it didn't work. Early in the year on the goal line, we did it and we scored, and it was a different situation. It wasn't on fourth down. This one happened to be on fourth down, so it stings a lot more. Doesn't mean we're not going to do it again, but we're going to do whatever we think is necessary to convert and score points. Just didn't work out that time.
One
And
more,
we got to do it better. I mean, that's just the way it is with every call. It's on me.
The offense obviously has played really well for the most part this year, officially and so forth. Just curious, talking about being clean and those sorts of things and going back to Cleveland, what was the conversation with Lamar in terms of that stuff post game in terms of the offense and to get back to where you guys want to get back to?
Oh, it's I think every week that we look at the tape, it's not really Lamar per se, as it is with everybody. It's pretty easy to look at the tape and look and say, hey, where can we get better here? Starting with me, staff, getting in front of the mistakes, which is what coaching is. It's getting in front of it before it shows up on game day. That's what we're paid to do, and letting our players shine. And then they got to do their part. How do we do it better in practice? How do we get it to where, the gifts? We haven't been turning it over from a gift standpoint, but from a discipline of route running, assignment, communication, penalties that really put you behind the 8 ball in terms of consistency. And because we're plenty capable, we have plenty of good players. So that's really the biggest part, starting with me, our staff, players, eliminating the things that stops you from being as efficient as you want to be. I mean, that's a lot of talk, but the reality is it's pretty obvious on tape when we do things the right way, okay, starting with me and everybody else, we're pretty difficult to handle, but we just got to continue down that road to, again, eliminate the things that stop you from, scoring as many points you need to win.
All right, thank you, Coach.